My parents had always told me that I was too trusting, too naive. I think they were just saying that because they wanted me to be more street smart, but it turned out they were right. I mean, who would lie at 16? And even if someone did, how could they know they were lying? But the person who tells me the most lies is my dog. She doesn't mean to do it. It's not like she sits there with a little briefcase full of lies, thinking about how she's gonna trick me. She just knows things, and she's really smart. Like I said, she doesn't mean to embarrass me if I tell people that it was her. Then I'll look like the crazy pet owner who thinks their dog is smarter than everyone else in the room. So instead, I just let my dad take all of the credit. One wish I had, because later that night I heard some rustling in the pantry. And when I got back there with a flashlight, I saw that she had managed to completely tear apart the place. We were all sitting on the floor eating popcorn, and then suddenly we heard a crash, and my dog came bounding into the room with a framed picture in her mouth. It was some weird alien creature. I was like, oh no, I love her, but I'm kind of starting to wish that she was a little bit dumber. Don't get me wrong, she's super smart and all, but sometimes you gotta pick your battles, you know? But then Emily looked at me and said, "Are you sure that thing isn't real? It kind of looks like Jabba the Hutt." I was like, no, I'm sure it's not real, it's just a picture. I swear. And then Emily's friend Jessica piped up and she said, well, duh. Why would a farm girl like Leah be hanging pictures of aliens all over their house? I was like, it's not a farm girl. It's Princess Leia, and it's not my mom. It's my dad's aunt. And then Jessica said, oh, I'm sorry. Does your dad's aunt also live in a garbage heap? Because last time I checked, that's where Jabba the Hutt hung out. I was about to say that she was wrong, but then I stopped. What if she was right? Maybe my mom really is related to Jabba the Hutt? I mean, I guess there's that one time when she looked at a Wookiee and said, hey, Chewbacca, you're looking pretty hairy today. And then my dad had to translate for us and tell her that he was a Wookiee and that he didn't speak English. Still, I don't think that counts as trashy. I honestly don't know how she even did it, because it is a very complicated block and an S made of metal. I was like, never mind. The next day at school, Jessica was telling all our classmates about my dad, and apparently she told them that my mom's trashy and related to Jabba the Hutt. I was mortified. But then Jessica came over to me and she whispered, you know, you should tell your dog to knock it off. If your dad finds out she trashed his favorite chair, he might hit her, and that's animal abuse. I told her that I'd already taken care of it. I hadn't, but I didn't feel like explaining that to her, and then I went to class. But somehow she managed to unlatch it and she ate half the cookies. I was mad at first, but I couldn't really get mad at her face. So I just gave her the rest of the cookies and went back to bed. I learned a long time ago that if you want to stay out of trouble, sometimes it's better to keep your mouth shut. But she's always doing it, like every day. I don't know why I did that, because it's obviously not true. She's anything but dumb. In fact, when I brought home my hamster, Sugar Cube, my dog didn't try to eat him or anything. This is a small town and word gets around fast. So when she does this, I usually get made fun of at school. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being made fun of. It just sucks when it's because of your dog. She's smart enough to know that if she ate him, she wouldn't taste very good. At least that's what I tell myself. Also, she's really good at solving mazes. Whenever I put her to the test, she figures out where the treat is hidden immediately. Plus, she knows how to open doors now. I don't know how she figured it out, but we walked into the kitchen the other day. And she had opened the pantry door and she was looking at me like she knew that I wanted the cookies. But of course, I didn't give in. I just closed the door and walked out. This isn't like I don't trust her or anything. It's just that if you give in once, they're gonna keep asking for more and more. And if you start giving into a dog, they'll end up ruling the household. And if that happens, you'll be lucky if you get to keep your food. As if this wasn't obvious enough, last year when my 16th birthday came around, They gave me a book called How to Spot a Liar, which I thought was hilarious. Well, turns out that people do lie, and a lot of them do it to me. She's asked me 3 times in the past week if I've seen him, but I do tell her that I know where he is because I don't want to get my dog in trouble. Yeah, so I just say I haven't seen him. And then she thanks me and she walks away. Then my dog says, I saw him. Old man Jenkins took him last night. And then Mrs. Higgins asks, what are you talking about? My dog looks at her and acts like nothing happened. Mrs. Higgins gets mad at me for being rude, and then she goes back inside. And then I'm mad at my dog. For example, Mrs. Higgins across the street has been missing her garden gnome for months now. When I was younger, a lot of people used to leave their front doors unlocked around here. That was until one day Mr. Henderson forgot to lock his front door and someone stole his wallet. The cops never caught whoever did it, but my dog found out because she went to the park that day and she smelled the guy who took Mr. Henderson's wallet. She tracked him down and barked at him and tried to bite him. That would have been fine, except the guy had the wallet in his pocket, and when he ran from my dog, he dropped it. He picked it back up and kept running, but my dog came outside to see what was going on, and he threw the guy in the bushes, and then the police came and took him away. Of course, everyone in the neighborhood was thanking my dad and patting him on the back for being such a hero. Meanwhile, I wanted to die because my dog had embarrassed me in front of an actual criminal and a police officer. I mean, talk about cringeworthy. This isn't the first time something like this has happened. I can't tell people that it was actually my dog who helped because Ella only keep doing stuff like this. So anyway, I started telling people that my dog was dumb as a rock. But yeah, so I didn't give her any cookies. She does stuff like this all the time, like stealing toilet paper and wrapping it around the house, or taking all my clothes off the clothesline before I could hang them up. For example, last summer I asked my best friend Emily if she wanted to come over and watch Star Wars Weekend. She agreed and she brought over some friends. Anyway, I was about to ask my dad if he was related to Jabba the Hutt when he came in, and he was like, "Who's Jabba the Hutt?" So yeah, my dog keeps getting me in trouble and I'm not sure what to do about it. And that was the end of my story.